And it looks like we're live. Okay, welcome in, everybody. Hold on. I got to do a couple of little things. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Now I can hear myself better. Hold on. Let me get the chat room going. It's been a few days. Since we've done these live streams. Did everybody have a good Halloween? Thanksgiving? Well, did you have a good Halloween too? Because, I'm not just going to limit it to Thanksgiving. Am I connected? Hold on. I think I'm having a couple of slight issues here. Sounds great. Okay, very good. All right, guys, here's what's going on. It was another weekend with my kid. And when my kid comes for the weekend, I get rid of all of the nice equipment. I just move it to a secure part of the guest house. And then I have to put it all back together. And for some reason, when I was testing it this morning, because I typically wake up, a little bit earlier when I have to put this all back together. And it's good. Trust me. Ed, who owns all this equipment, Ed will tell you it's good that I learned to put it all together because, he's pretty much does everything all the time. So it's good that I'm learning these things. And I had some concerns about something sounded weird this morning. So I'm glad that it does sound good. All right, welcome. Hey, Adam, how are you? Look at Adam Rain is here. I apologize. Friday, I don't know what happened. Friday we had some... When was the last time we did this show? I mean, I know we took Thursday off. We took Thursday off for Thanksgiving, but I had every intention of doing a show on Friday. And I know we had internet issues, like the internet was out and then Friday was the power. Ugh, I kept losing power out here to the guest house and I kept having to run down to the garage, open up the fuse box and then do that. So that's what happened Friday. But anyway, I guess it hadn't really dawned on me that we hadn't done a show since probably last Wednesday, right? Is last Wednesday the last time we all got together? All right. Well, we're here now. We're here now with a completely static schedule, except for tonight. Tonight, there is no pillow talk. We do 2 streams a day. We do this one, high noon. This comes on every Monday through Friday at noon, and it's about current events and hot topics and trends and all the things that people are talking about. We do all that. And then at night, Pillow Talk, it's myself and James Parker. And what we're doing is that show is evolving. I'm starting to get comfortable with where that show is going. And what that seems to be evolving into is just me and him trading stories that we're interested in. Which, that's all right, good. If that's what it is, that's what it is. Because I like talking to James and I like his perspective on things, even though sometimes I think he's a lunatic. But anyway, that's Monday through Thursdays. That's Pillow Talk. Myself and James Parker. Pugs Moran, James Parker. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. You know how it goes. What else do I need to mention as far as programming? So no Pillow Talk tonight because we got a mansplaining again. A 97 won the freak. 97 won the freak here in Dallas. Myself and Dr. Robert Schwartz, we taking your calls at 214-787-1997. What? See, I got it. I've been doing it enough now where that phone number is never going to leave my head. I know the phone number of every radio. I won't do that. I won't bore you with all that. But I know the phone number of every radio station that I've ever been on, except the Bone. I don't think I know the number of the Bone. I think I'd have to 93, 77, 93. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one, but. The freak is in my head. 97.1 tonight, 9 o'clock, 9 to 11, myself and Dr. Robert Schwartz. So if you want to participate, you want to play, you got it's a show. It's like Loveline. It's like Loveline, except it's different because it's me. There's no Adam, which I know a lot of you are going, oh God, why would we listen? Because Schwartz is really funny. Schwartz is really good. And, we're figuring it out. I think it's a fun show. I think we've gotten some very, very, very good feedback. So that's tonight, 9 to 11. Mansplaining, myself and Dr. Robert Schwartz. I'm sorry, I took some of those antihistamine things that make me a little bit scramblies because I have a show tonight and I felt like, oh God, is this another allergy thing? You know why? Because it was like 30 degrees and then like the next day it was 65 degrees, but with like 100% humidity and air conditioning, heat. It's now these are allergies, but I never miss shows because of allergies. I miss shows because of like slight fever and stuff, but don't you worry. I won't be missing any shows, but the allergies are coming back. So if I seem a little bit racy today, And by that, I mean sped up. I don't mean the other thing. We don't get into that stuff. If I seem a little bit sped up, that's because I took some of my antihistamines just in preparation for tonight's 97.1 The Freak Show. And for this one. I care about you guys too. All right, so what do we do here? We had to do a little bit of cleanup there. Hi, Dustin. Dustin's here. It's a slow chat room today. What are people getting? Where's my rockin' chat room? Where are all my people? I don't know. Maybe it's because you suck. Yeah, that's totally what I think. I see a chat room that's a little, well, although I haven't been doing shows in a while. All right, so we can skip all the bullshit. It seems like everybody who's listening knows what this show's about. It's about all the headlines, all the hot topics, all the trends, whatever it is that's happening in the world today. We cover it. We move on to the next. We don't spend a whole lot of time on any one issue. And, we try to give you a nice full color picture of what's happening in the world today. But before we do that, we like to go through the other things that occurred on this day in history. It's just a me thing. I can only move on to what is happening today after I feel satisfied that I'm comfortable with what this day has meant throughout history. So to that end, let's get into it. Today is the 28th day of November, year of our Lord, 2022. It's the 332nd day of the year. And there's only 33 days remaining until the end of the year. 33. You got 1 month. So if you're booking New Year's Eve plans, yeah, like now is when you got to do it. You don't book your New Year's Eve plans on December 28th, and then the hotel's all booked up. Well, yeah, because you're making your New Year's Eve plans on December 28th. Do it on November 28th. That's when you make your New Year's Eve plans. That's today. Let's see. Let's go through the history of today. Excuse me. On this day in 1582 in Stratford-upon-Avon, William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway. Time traveler Anne Hathaway. William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway pay a 40-pound, equivalent to 12,000 pounds in 2022, bond for their marriage license. Wait a second. Okay, so Anne Hathaway was a wife of Shakespeare. She's also an actress now, but this is obviously a different one, unless time travel. So William Shakespeare had to pay the equivalent of 12 grand for a marriage license. I don't know. I didn't get the world back then. That's whatever. On this day in 1811, Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 5 in E-flat major premieres at the Gundenhausen in Leipzig. I don't know anything about Beethoven. But, I was thinking about this. Here, let me, where I apologize. Okay. All right. So, wait, do I even need this? It's a mess. This show is about. Anyway, I was going to play a little bit of it for you, but it's just classical music. And I was listening to it earlier today, Beethoven's Concerto No. 5, just trying to familiarize myself with it, while I was doing a little bit of other research. I can't remember. What was the last time you heard classical music? I was like, maybe for me, like in the wild. When was the last time you heard classical music in the wild? I guess if you have kids, maybe you've gone to like an orchestra recital or an orchestra concert, something like that. Maybe if you're a fancy pants person, but you've gone to like, the city, but there's no fancy pants. What was the last time you heard classical music? I'm like, man, I haven't heard. You don't hear it in doctors' offices. You don't hear classical music in elevators. You hear Muzak, or you hear, whatever, real music. Supermarkets, you don't hear classical. Where do you hear classical music? In the wild. I mean, I love classical music. I'm a fan of classical music. Okay, fine. But I mean, like, just out and about. Like, I am not necessarily a fan of, like, really hardcore hip hop, but I hear it out in the wild. Like, I am semi-familiar with it. Country music too. I'm not a big fan of country music, but I hear it out in the wild. Just I'm exposed. When was the last time you were exposed to classical music out in the wild? I can't think of it. I wouldn't even know what circumstances. What waiting room am I in? A fancy French restaurant? Maybe. Haven't been to a fancy French restaurant, ever. So anyway, congratulations to you, Beethoven. This is when he dropped one of his big ones. On this day in 1861, the American Civil War, the Confederate States of America accepts a rival state's government proclamation that declares Missouri to be the 12th state of the Confederacy. All right, Missouri. All right, we see you, Missouri. We see you. On this day in 1905, Irish nationalist Arthur Griffith founds Sinn Féin as a political party with the main aim of establishing Irish right to government. So, like, I'm not a big party guy, but I am for my nationalism, for my ethnicity. I would say that I'm a believer in the political movement Sinn Féin. Oh, really? Really? So what are you? What are you? Some kind of leftist, socialist, nationalist? Well, yeah, as it pertains to Ireland, yeah, those people have been abused by the British Crown for years. They want to unite their country. Yeah, it's a totally different thing. Now, in America, as an American citizen, I'm not a leftist, socialist, nationalist. No, not here, not as an American. As an American, I'm like kind of normal, just like a normal American. But if I was in Ireland, yeah, I would definitely be a member of Sinn Féin. I believe in that. The right to govern themselves. They're like, we want to be a united country. You got the North, the queen, the king. You got a king up there in the North. We don't want no king up there in the North. That's anyway. It was established. Sinn Féin was established on this day in 1905. On this day in 1920, during the Irish War of Independence, the Kilmichael ambush. This is a big one. The IRA blew up a busload of British cops. The cops were being brought in to keep the people in line, and they never got to the town. They got blown up. On this day in 1925, the Grand Ole Opry begins broadcasting in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, Grand Ole Opry. I don't, I remember when I was a little kid. Wasn't there a Grand Ole Opry show? I don't know much about it. I wasn't raised in like a country music household, so my country music depth as a child coming up pretty much began and ended with Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. That was it. That was like the depth. My mom liked Willie Nelson, so I had a familiarity with him my whole life. But yeah, that's about it. Happy birthday, Grand Ole Opry. On this day in 1942, now get this one. Check this story out. In 1942 in Boston, Massachusetts, a fire in the Coconut Grove nightclub broke out. 1942, Boston. Okay, this isn't like 1832 in the Dakota territories. This is 1942 in Boston. A fire broke out at a restaurant. 492 people were killed in this incident. The Coconut Grove nightclub fire. I have never heard of this. Boston, Massachusetts, a big city. A fire breaks out in a restaurant. 500 people die. Oh my God. On this day in 1990, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher resigns as leader of the Conservative Party and therefore as Prime Minister. She is succeeded in both positions by John Major. It happened on this day in 1990. They forced the Iron Lady out. Actually, that's not it. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned the anniversary of Parliament forcing the Iron Lady out. And then it took a couple of weeks for her to get to this day, which was, I am no longer Prime Minister, or whatever she did. I don't know. Anyway, this whole episode is depicted in the new season, episode 1 of The Crown. So you got any interest in how they forced out Margaret Thatcher? Just watch episode 1, season 1 of The Crown. Oh, did they stab her in the back? She kind of deserved it, but they stabbed her in the back. All et tu, Brute. It's one of those deals. Very good episode. Really good episode of The Crown. Episode 1 of this new season. All right, let's get into some birthdays. Who's celebrating some birthdays? Okay, we got a big birthday here right out of the box. Born on this day in 1936. You want to talk about somebody who has undeniably contributed to American culture and therefore global culture. Berry Gordy Jr., born on this day in 1929. Founder of Motown Records. Woo! Music that he recorded in that little house in Detroit. That stuff, you hear that stuff in the jungles of Kenya. You hear that stuff in the rice paddies of Cambodia. You hear that stuff in Siberia. That you want to talk about. That's a dude who left a mark. He's dead, right? I think he's dead. Is Berry Gordy dead? I don't know. Maybe he's still alive. But anyway, when he does go, he will have left a mark. His presence on this planet will have contributed to a whole bunch of happiness. And, that doesn't mean that in his personal life he wasn't a dickhead, because he might very well may have been a dickhead, but it doesn't matter. In the existential, he has contributed greatly to humanity in a positive way. Born on this day in 1936, Gary Hart, American lawyer and politician, 6th United States Special Envoy to Northern Ireland. Gary Hart was going to be president of the United States, and then some chick campaign staffer sat on his lap on a boat, and they took a picture of it. Think about that in 2022. That wouldn't even register. Back then, Gary Hart was going to be president of the United States. Gary Hart was the favorite. He was the runaway favorite for the Democratic nomination. And oh, did they like him? Oh, did he have some John F. Kennedy swag? And this was in a period of time when people still remembered John F. Kennedy. People who were voters back then, they knew John F. Kennedy. But yeah, he's married, and what's her name? Fawn Hall was Oliver North. Donna Rice. Was it Donna Rice? I think it was Donna Rice. Donna Rice, thank you. Donna Rice, who was just some young chickie. They were on a boat, and a picture got snapped of Donna Rice sitting on his knee on a boat, and he had to stop trying to be president, which is hysterical, because it wouldn't stop you now. Oh, look at him doing the right thing. Was it the right thing? No, you should have just gone. You could. All he would have needed to say was, "She works with me. I'm going to be president." She wanted a picture. That's believable. I don't know. I'm not all that up on the Gary Hart scandal. I just remember it from when I was like 12 years old going, doesn't look that bad. I don't know what's going on. Born on this day in 1943, Randy Newman, American singer, songwriter, composer, pianist. Here's my thing about Randy Newman. I like a lot of his songs. Like, a lot of his songs are like, they're all happy and he sings kind of funny. I don't know. I can't do Randy Newman, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of like, should people got, and then all the Toy Story stuff. Oh God, Randy Newman. It's good. I love LA. He had like one normal pop hit, and it was like a minor hit back in, say, 88 or something. I love LA. But here's my thing with Randy Newman. Although all of it, this is where you got to separate the artist from the art. I like all of his art. I like his songs. They're, they have a place. I'm not going to a Randy Newman concert and rocking out. But what I'm saying is they have a place. His music has a place. He seems like a dick, though. He just looks like a dick. And I've never met him. I don't know anybody that's ever met him. I like his stuff. But whenever I see him interviewed, he just seems like such a dick. So happy birthday, Randy Newman. I like your stuff. Born on this day in 1949, Paul Schaefer. Longtime David Letterman sidekick. Yeah, sidekick, band leader. A little bit of a hybrid of both, I would say, Paul Schaefer. Born on this day in 1949. Born on this day in 1950. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Ed Harris. Ed Harris was born on this day. Ed Harris draft. You're damn right we're doing an Ed Harris draft. Ed Harris is one of my favorite actors currently working in Hollywood. He is the coolest. Yeah, Ed Harris, you're in a movie with Ed Harris, and Ed Harris walks in the room. Guess who suddenly the most important person in the room is? Ed Harris. Every time. That's his magnetism. That's the role he plays. He always plays like the guy who's like, you need something, shit's hitting the fan. Where's Ed Harris? Get Ed Harris in here. If shit is hitting the fan, he'll fix it. All right, Ed Harris draft. I am going to go with the number one pick in the Ed Harris draft. I'm going to blow some minds, and I'll probably lose my front office job. But I'm going deep. I'm going to rely on scouting. I'm relying on deep scouting. The first pick in the Ed Harris draft, Knight Riders. That's right. George Romero, Okay, here's the premise of Knight Riders. Dudes of a certain age know Knight Riders. But for those of you who do not know Knight Riders, you need to go and find yourself a copy of Knight Riders. George Romero's Knight Riders. It is awesome. Here's the premise. It's King Arthur's court. It's the story of King Arthur, like King Arthur and Lancelot and Guinevere and all that stuff. Okay, Knights of the Round Table. It's the story of King Arthur, except they got motorcycles. That's right. That's right. Knights on motorcycles. Come on. I know a whole bunch of you are like, I've never heard of Knight Riders. And when I just said knights on motorcycles, a whole bunch of you went, hell yeah. I remember that one. All right, so that's the first pick. Knight Riders goes off the board early just because I don't want anybody else to own it. I just need to have that in my possession. Knight Riders. The number 2 pick in the Ed Harris birthday draft, his portrayal of John Glenn. The right stuff. The right stuff. It all began, as Ed Harris being the guy you can count on, all began with his portrayal of John Glenn in The Right Stuff. The Right Stuff. Number 3, Ed Harris draft. I'm going with State of Grace. State of Grace. You guys remember State of Grace? Who's in State of Grace? Sean Penn, Gary Oldman, Robin Wright. I believe it's the film that Sean Penn met Robin Wright on. And Ed Harris. That's right. Sean Penn plays a cop who's infiltrating his old neighborhood's criminal gangs. And Ed Harris is like the neighborhood boss, the leader of the underworld gang, doesn't know that Sean Penn's a cop. Anyway, State of Grace. Great movie. State of Grace comes off the board at number 3. Number 4, Glenn Ross. That's right. Anybody who appeared in Glenn Ross, if I ever do a draft about their career, Glenn Ross will get mentioned. Number 4 off the board in the Ed Harris draft, Glenn Ross. And with the 5th pick, I'm going with Apollo 13. Gene Kranz. That's right, he plays Gene Kranz. Plays a good astronaut. He's got a good head shape to play an astronaut. All right, so there you go. There are your 5 picks in the Ed Harris draft on today, his birthday. His 72nd birthday. Number 1, Knight Riders. Knight Riders is so good, man. That movie is so great. Knight Riders, The Right Stuff, State of Grace, Glenn Ross, Apollo 13. And yeah, I know I didn't say Pollock or Beautiful Mind or any of that stuff. But if you look at his filmography, it's a pick'em. They're all invited. That's right. His entire remaining filmography is invited to camp because any movie that has Ed Harris in it, it's Ed Harris for me is in the Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, Ed Harris camp. Also mustache guy. Who's the mustache guy who talks like this? He's in 1883. He doesn't take any shit from anybody. I love that guy too. Sam, whatever, you know who I'm talking about. No, not Sam Waterson. Not the guy who's always drunk on LA Law or Law and Order. Who am I thinking of? Come on. Sam who? What's his name? I'm going to sit and wait. I need a cup of coffee anyway. I could look it up, but seriously, chat room seems to be at full. There you go, Byron Granger. Byron Granger coming through. Sam Elliott. That's it. So I put Ed Harris in the Sam Elliott, Steve McQueen, Paul Newman. You're always just a cool dude. Kind of. And there's other guys too, but I'd have to think. Cool actor draft. Maybe that's one for, I don't know, another show. All right, so happy birthday to you, Ed Harris. Born on this day in 1959, Judd Nelson. He ain't Gen X. Judd Nelson is like a brat packer who's like one of the icons of Gen X. He ain't Gen X. He born in 1959, boomer. Get out of here, Judd Nelson. Born on this day in 1962, Jon Stewart. American comedian, actor, television host, future president of the United States. That's right. Every time I see that guy on TV now, I go, oh, he's different now. He's going to get into politics. He's going to run for something. And he is articulate. So happy birthday to Jon Stewart, born on this day. Don't know that I vote for him, but we'll see. Celebrity candidates. Had this conversation with somebody recently. By recently, I mean within the last year. It was about celebrity candidates. And I said that I don't think that I could just vote for a celebrity candidate. And they said, why? Because you know the anonymous politician that's running against them better. And I thought, you know what? That's interesting. At least with politicians, there is some understanding of who they are. And if they do seem like a fraud, they would have displayed such characteristics over the time that we've known them as a celebrity. I don't know. It was a good argument. I thought that's interesting. Okay, so at least because I don't know who Dan Simon running for congressman in the third. I don't know who Dan Simon is, and neither do you. You know what you know about Dan Simon? You know whatever message Dan Simon is conveying through the billboard that sits at the intersection where you're stuck at a stoplight on your way to work every day. That's all you know about Dan Simon, and that's why the colors are important because we're all programmed to vote for colors. Is that got red on it or is that got blue on it? What is that? What are they mentioned in the Second Amendment? I mean, we're all programmed. We don't know these people. So, fuck it. Let's just vote for all celebrities. Let's just vote for Dave Grohl and Bruce Springsteen. And I don't care. The other side can vote for Scott Baio if they want, or Kevin Sorbo, or, whatever. I don't care. Let's just all vote for celebrities. Could it really be any worse? Well, at least the anonymous politicians typically have some form of formal education and, a resume of something. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But The Rock took over for Paul Walker in the Fast and Furious movie. So that's got to count for something. It's got to count. I know the guy he's going against graduated from Harvard undergrad and then Georgetown Law. But The Rock took over for Paul Walker. I don't know what it all means anymore. That's why we don't do politics. That's the extent of politics on this show, just that it's also messed up. Happy birthday, born on this day in 1963, to Armando Iannucci. Ah, man. You know what? Armando Iannucci's a funny fuck. I don't know where he came from, but all of a sudden, he's like making the funniest TV show. Well, Veep was so funny. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, her HBO show about how insane Washington, D.C. is, played for like high slapstick comedy. I mean, witty, but real slapstick too. Veep was great. But Avenue 5, if you guys aren't watching Avenue 5 is in its second season on HBO. I think the new episodes are HBO Max if you got the app. Avenue 5 is genius. I think Avenue 5 might be funnier punchline for punchline than Veep. They're obviously the same kind of humor. It's just really broad, gross out, silly, absurd humor, but the dialogue is all super witty and like super fast. So you buy it. Anyway, Armando Iannucci is having a bit of a moment following up Veep with Avenue 5, which is in its second season right now on HBO. Born on this day in 1967, died in 2007, Anna Nicole Smith. Oh, don't we all have a bit of a soft spot for Anna Nicole Smith? Big, dumb, beautiful disaster. That's, that's really poor Anna Nicole Smith. Just, all she wanted was it all. That's all. She just wanted it all. Can you blame a girl from Mejia, Texas, who just, finds a shortcut to getting it all? Blessed with, she was the equivalent of, Roger Clemens being born with a lightning bolt for an arm, right? I mean, she was born beautiful. She was given all the genetic advantages from the get-go. And she was a woman, which means if she so choose, she could use those natural resources to basically never have to work. And guess what? That's what she did. And I don't fault her. Anna Nicole Smith, tragic figure. Happy birthday to Anna Nicole Smith. Definitely a tragic figure. Also, Trey Songz, born on this day in 1984, American, what would be American R&B singer, producer, songwriter, all that stuff. They all do it all these days. Born on this day in 1984, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, American actress and producer. First of all, can we just say that name? That's a pretty great name. I mean, I don't know. From where I'm from, that just seems like a really nice Midwestern name of a girl from a really good family. Like you know what I mean? Like they're a good family. She comes from a good family. Mary Elizabeth Winstead comes from a good family. She went to parochial school. I like her though. I don't know what she's been in. I just know that every time, like I know her name. Okay, now I'm looking at her. Yeah. I like her a lot. Where's she from? She's from Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. All right. So what has she done that was good? I think she did. Didn't she do a season of Fargo where she was really good in that? She did a season of Fargo, but she's also done a bunch of movies. Hold on. I just know I like her. I know, like, oh yeah, I like her a lot. Let's see, is there anything? Okay, so here we go. What has she done recently? Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, she was Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim. Okay, so there you go. That's kind of so a younger generation definitely knows her. She's done a lot of stuff. Yeah. All right. Anyway, happy birthday, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. You got an awesome name. I love that name, and you're cute too. You're not like you're not Megan Fox. Yeah, but you're like she seems very Midwestern girl next door, which is a very pleasing sort of whole vibe she's bringing. So happy birthday to you there, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Oh, and apparently she's a really good actress too. That's the other thing about her. She's not like going to be doing. She's like there was something here written. She's one of the top 10 actresses under whatever. How old is she now? 84. I don't even know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Born on this, or I'm sorry, let's do some deaths. Let's run through this because this is taking a little bit longer than it usually does. But that's okay. We're not going anywhere today. We got all day. Oh, that's not true. I actually have to do the mansplaining show tonight. All right, let's do some deaths. Canadian physician and educator. Canadian. James Naismith died on this day in 1939. Wait a second. James Naismith invented basketball. We've always sort of believed that James Naismith was like basketball was an American made, Canadian. James Naismith was Canadian. Basketball, that great Canadian sport. Dead on this day in 1954, Enrico Fermi. Fermi Labs, Manhattan Project, University of Chicago, Super Collider named after him. Big important physicist. Dead on this day in 1954. Dead on this day in 1993, Gary Moore, American comedian, television personality. Here, let me make sure of something before I give you a hot take on Gary Moore, because the name, I saw the name and I was like, is that? Huh. Okay. All right. So I guess we don't really need Gary Moore. He was a game show guy. I thought he was the dude that was married to Lucy. Who was married? Gary something, right? Who was? Now I need to know who Lucy was married to. Didn't say anything about him being married. I thought he was married to Lucy. I thought he was banging Lucy Ball like 70-year-old. Who was Lucille Ball married to? Let's see here. What was Gary something? Gary Morton. All right, not Gary Moore. All right, never mind Gary Moore. Gary Morton is who Lucy was married to. So anyway, Gary Moore, the guy who wasn't sleeping with Lucy. He died today in 1993. Dead today in 1994. Happy anniversary to the execution-style murder of Jeffrey Dahmer. That's right. Jeffrey Dahmer was murdered in the prison laundry. Recently saw something with the guy who killed him. The guy who killed him's like, yeah, I killed him. Why did he kill him? Because he was being weird? Wasn't that it? Like, well, he's Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, he can't really help himself. That's been adjudicated that he can't help himself. He's just weird. But yeah, today was the day that Jeffrey Dahmer died, 1994. On this day in 2010, Leslie Nielsen died. Leslie Nielsen. Nice. Beaver. Radio of a certain era used Leslie Nielsen drops ad nauseum from the Naked Gun movies or whatever. He was funny. Leslie Nielsen was funny. Funny old guy. Zig Ziglar died on this day in 2012. Zig Ziglar, local dude. Well, pretty much internationally known sales dude, motivational speaker, Zig Ziglar, that guy. Seemed all right. I met him once. He was like a local dude. He lived in like Plano. I met him once at a dinner thing. He seemed very nice. Didn't know who the hell I was, but it was very nice. It was very nice anyway. Yeah, didn't. but whatever. He died today in 2012. All right, let's get into the hot. You feel like you got a good vibe on what today's about, the history of today? Okay, so let's get into what today actually is. What is happening on this very day? Hawaii is happening. They got a volcano that's erupting in Hawaii. I don't know how serious this is, but the pictures are absolutely fantastic. It's the big one. It's the big volcano there. in let's see here. Mauna Loa erupts. Okay, I don't know. I've never been to Hawaii. Hawaii seems too far for a beach. First of all, I don't love beaches. I don't love it, but it's beautiful. You can say the exact same thing about the middle of Arkansas. You really can. You really can. I can drop you in the middle of Arkansas and I can find you a place with a vista, a rolling hill, something, a lake, forest. I can find you something and we can sit there and I can say to you, this is obviously as beautiful as Hawaii. It just depends on what you like. Here's what takes away from the beauty of Hawaii for me. That it's like 10 hours away or whatever it is. That really does take a whole lot. Like I said, you can go to Arkansas and you can find an absolutely beautiful. You can go to any state in this country and you can find, well, maybe not Oklahoma. No, actually, I bet Oklahoma. I bet you there's like a little pocket. Let's see here. Mauna Loa, the world's largest active volcano, has erupted for the first time in 38 years. The flare-up comes after it had reportedly been in a state of heightened arrest since September. The volcano alert level has been upgraded from advisory to a warning following this most recent activity. The eruption began late Sunday night in the summit caldera. Sorry, I don't know shit about volcanoes. Caldera, you know why? Because I don't really go to places where there are volcanoes. What's your favorite place on Earth? Okay, my favorite place on Earth is Iceland. And what is Iceland made of? That's right. Iceland is just a giant volcano. But wouldn't that be the exception that proves the rule? Touche. Thank you. The volcano alert level has since been upgraded from advisory to warning. Parts of Hawaii were under an ashfall advisory issued by the National Weather Service in Honolulu. They said up to a quarter inch of ash could accumulate in some areas. Officials have said that the eruption isn't likely to threaten communities at this stage, but they wouldn't tell you if it would. If they were like, holy crap, this entire island is going to be engulfed in lava and ash in the next 12 hours. What do you think they would do? What would they do? Would they start an orderly and heavily regimented evacuation from the island? 12 hours. No, they're not going to do that. 12 hours is not enough time. Let's say nothing. They say nothing. And the important people are right now at their private airstrips, getting on their private jets and getting the hell out of Hawaii. It wouldn't tell you. Don't worry about it. Wouldn't tell you. If the eruption remains in Mokuoa, okay, here we go. This is another thing about Hawaii. I think I'd get in a car accident trying to read, the directions. Everything is Moku Awa 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 Wio. Seriously, if the eruption remains in the Moku Awa O Wio O area, what? That's a town. I don't want to go to Hawaii. Let's see. If the eruptive vents migrate outside the walls of the original lava flow, it may move rapidly downslope, threatening communities. Okay, so they're like, yeah, sure, it could. More than a dozen earthquakes have been recorded within 2 hours. That can't be good. One measured 4.2 on the Richter scale. It's the little side hustle of Andy Richter. All right, there you go. So that's Hawaii. So we're monitoring Hawaii. They're having a little bit of an eruption issue. Probably nothing. Don't worry about it. Go back to your PlayStations and your Instagram pictures. All right. So what else do we have? China is trending. China has this like zero COVID mandate where like, that we can have zero COVID in this country. And that ain't working out so well for them because they got some COVID in that country. And so they're at lockdown stage in China and the people are losing their shit over it. That's right. This is the most significant protest that we've seen in China in years. This is Xi is the power of the people taken to the streets. They don't want to be locked down anymore. This if these popular uprisings that are occurring in China overthrows the current regime, the Xi regime, that's going to be bad. It's going to be bad because it's going to cause all kinds of unrest. It's going to cause all kinds of uncertainty in a country that we, at least in the Western world, we have sort of relied on China to keep that part of the world in check. And they've done so. I mean, North Korea is kind of a pain in the ass, but it's not like Cambodia is at war with Thailand and the Philippines are invading Japan. You know what I mean? I mean, China has done a pretty good job of policing all of the different interests in that world. So if the current situation with China topples, which would be good for us in other ways, but bad for like the world in general. This is troubling. This is potentially very troubling. So they're watching all the stuff that's happening in China. Now what they're expecting is the next round. The next round will be the response. So how big will Xi's regime's response be to the people who are protesting in the streets? Tiananmen Square level, you know what I mean? Are they gonna, we live in an era where everything is documented. So all of the acts of aggression by this government will be documented, undoubtedly, by people. All of this documentation will be available to the courts in The Hague. And, she doesn't want to be on trial for crimes against humanity. Because, anyway, it's a different era. Things are different. This is a protest. This is a very interesting test case to see how governments react in this era of connectivity, where their actions are absolutely going to be documented by somebody, and they have no control over who is documenting them. So it'd be interesting to see. North Korea, also North Korea getting involved just because they don't want to, North Korea would be a real problem. If the Chinese government toppled, if there was some form of political instability inside China, North Korea would be a real problem because North Korea is the only country left in that region that would have nukes, or at least have control of their nukes. And that would be another issue. Like, China, we'd have to, because of their arsenal, there would have to be like a global peacekeeping force that would go in there and lock down the nukes. Because you can't have what happened after the Soviet Union fell. You can't have like nukes on the open market. And oh my God, that was 30 years of like a covert underground war to try and track all of the shit that was sold during the fall of the Soviet Union. So we can't have that with China, and that won't happen with China. They'll be locked down. But North Korea will then be. Do you know the list? What is the list of? So there's a couple of different lists of countries who have nukes. There are the recognized countries who have nuclear weapons. Then there are the countries that say they have nuclear weapons, but the international community hasn't really been able to prove that, even though they say it. North Korea is an example of that. India and Pakistan are also examples of two countries that they claim to have them. They claim to have them. They got missiles and they show the videos and all that kind of stuff. But the world, the global nuclear world, they're not one. What are the five? China, Russia, the United States. Okay, so countries with recognized nuclear nations: China, Russia, United States, United Kingdom, and France. I think those are the recognized nuclear nations. And then you've got the other nations who everybody thinks they have nukes because they say they have nukes, but it's not confirmed. And that's North Korea, and who we were just talking about it. It's North Korea and who? Pakistan and India. That's it. Okay. So, North Korea has nukes in that region. And the only reason they've been sort of kept in check is because China has a lot more nukes in that region. So I don't know. It could be a very messed up situation going on over there. Oh, South Africa. South Africa, you had nukes. South Africa, like 30 years ago, had nukes, and they were recognized as a nuclear power, like a country that had a nuclear bomb. But they dismantled their nuclear program like 20 years ago. So they no longer have that. But the belief is that South Africa actually just sold their nukes to Israel. So Israel is another one of these countries who people think might have secret nukes because of South Africa. And the whole nuclear nation conversations. Look, around 8:45 this morning, I was doing my morning constitutional, and I started reading up about nuclear nations. Fascinating. Anyway, this China shit, not good. And North Korea, not good either. North Korea is claiming that they're going to build the world's largest nuclear force. They're claiming this. And they're shooting stuff, and there's all kinds of instability in China. And oh, God. Telling you, that part of the world, you think it's bad in Eastern Europe. Buffalo shooter. Remember the kid that shot all those nice people at the grocery store on Saturday? Bunch of people's. He shot a bunch of people's grandmamas. He shot a bunch of people's grandmamas, a bunch of people's aunties. That's what he did. He walked in and he just destroyed a whole bunch of families. Well, the Buffalo shooter is making news because in his state trial, he's got both capital state murder offenses that he's facing and federal crimes that he's facing. This is the state stuff. The Buffalo mass shooter has pled guilty to all of the state charges, which is good because it means that there won't have to be two trials. It means that, all right, he's pleading guilty to the state charges, which means he can move on. Now he's got to face. Now the trial is going to be the hate crimes. That's the federal hate crime that comes with the death penalty. So that's a big one. So he's still got to plead to that, and he's still got to go through all of whatever that is. But as far as the state of New York, he has pled guilty to the murders in the Buffalo shooting from just a few months back over the summer. The Virginia shooter, while we were on break, that's right. Oh, we had shootings. Dude, a Walmart manager walked into the break room at Walmart in Virginia on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I don't know, some point last week, and just started, look at this. It's so, just so not a big deal. Just, they happen all the time. He walked into the break room and just started killing his coworkers at Walmart. Which is different, which is a different category. I always say the two categories, like, is it just the guy who shows up and he hates the world and he just wants to kill a bunch of innocent people and he's like, I'm angry about stuff, and he's just randomly killing people? Or is it the, crime, like, showed up at the backyard party and a guy from a different gang was there, so a gang shootout happened and like 5 innocent people got. Like, those are two different categories for me. One I can rationalize as crime exists and these people are bad people, and in order to mitigate my risk with these people, I will just not be around them. So that one I can sort of understand, right? I'm not going to be at some backyard barbecue where a rival gang shows up and starts killing everybody. Chances very low for me to be there. Chances for me to be in a movie theater when angry guy goes, I'm going to kill everybody. Well, you can't calculate that. I'm not going to not go to movie theaters. I'm not going to not live my life. So that one concerns me more. This Walmart one, this is throwback. This is old school. This is the coworker going postal. This is the guy who doesn't have any, it's not necessarily malice towards strangers or the customers, but somebody who is really pissed off at the people he works with, and he targets them. So this is definitely a throwback in the mass shooting categories. This guy was neither politically motivated, bitter by his station in life, or trying to seek some sort of street justice for some other criminal activity. No, this guy was just a coworker who had enough. Virginia Walmart gunman's manifesto. Yeah, and he left a manifesto. That's how we know. Claims he was betrayed by coworkers. He felt that they were led by Satan. I could spend a little bit of time on this, but I won't. Suffice it to say, he's fucking crazy. His manifesto proves it. He believes that all the other people at Walmart are possessed by demonic demons, and that he's doing this because of Jesus. And it's just a very weird manifesto. It's not even particularly good. It's just like you get one paragraph in and you're like, oh, he's batshit crazy. I mean, of course he is. He walked into his Walmart and killed his coworkers, but this nails it down. He's obviously batshit crazy. He's hearing voices and people are possessed by demons and he can see it in their auras. Okay, so there you go. Here's something that came out of Thanksgiving in Houston. I don't know if you saw this one, but the story was trending today because dude turned himself in. So an ex-husband walked into a house. They're sitting down there, the whole family. They're having Thanksgiving. They're, eating, enjoying the day. And, all of a sudden the husband walks in through the back door of the kitchen and everybody sitting at the table, gun, just starts, gunning people down. Houston, happy Thanksgiving. people enjoying their day, and then some asshole. Gee, I wonder why she left you, dude. I wonder why. Here's the story. Dude just turned himself in. Thanksgiving Day massacre. Ex-husband goes on shooting rampage in Houston, leaving 2 dead and 2 injured. A 15-year-old injured in the shooting is in stable condition. By the way, they showed the outside of the house. This was like nice. Hey, middle America, be afraid. Be very afraid. This was not happening in like a trailer park. This was not happening in some public housing. This was happening in a very nice neighborhood. A neighborhood I'd be proud to live in. A shooting at a residential home near Houston on Thanksgiving night has left 2 people dead and 2 others wounded. An adult injured in the shooting is in critical condition. Houston police are continuing to investigate the scene. In Spring Branch, where 4 people, including 3 adults and 1 teenager, were shot. Houston Police Department Assistant Chief Patrick Cantu said during a briefing Thursday that the family had just finished eating a Thanksgiving meal together when the ex-husband came in through the back door and opened fire on the family. The families were celebrating. They had just finished eating. The suspect, who is known to be the ex-husband of one of the deceased females, came in through a back door and just started firing at people inside the house. Happy Thanksgiving, America. All right. So that was down there in Houston. Also in Houston, Houston's trending for a couple of different reasons. They got a boil water situation going on down there. I'm not entirely sure what this is all about, but let's see here. Abbott has sent a whole bunch of aid down there. Let's see what old Wheels of Steel Abbott is doing. He's people of Houston. Water levels, it has something to do with water levels, where they sunk to a level where now suddenly they can't guarantee that the water is clean. So they're telling everybody to boil water in Houston. So Governor Abbott sends immediate resources to Houston as city remains under boil water notice. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has directed the Texas Division of Emergency Management and the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality to send all necessary resources to the city of Houston after a boil water notice was issued following a power outage that impacted 3 treatment plants. Okay. The TDEM is reportedly working with Houston officials to quickly address all needs, and TCEQ stands ready to review the city of Houston's water samples. State of Texas is immediately responding and deploying support to Houston as they work to get a safe supply of water back online. All right, so developing ... If you're listening in Houston, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. What else do we have here? Oh, Alyssa Milano is trending. She's kind of like a beautiful idiot. I love Alyssa Milano. I love her. I do. I love her. I look at her go, you little spitfire. You little beautiful. She's passionate and she's beautiful and she's fired up. And, she speaks to a certain person, women. She's big with the women. The women love her, especially like the activist women. I don't know. I like her, but she says stupid shit all the time, like dumb shit. Like she has this arrogance coupled with ignorance that is then like fueled by supreme confidence. She just says silly things. Like she says silly things and then she tweets them and then she gets hammered by people who point out the silly things that she says. Anyway, what's she doing now? Yeah, this is funny. Okay, so Alyssa Milano, she's mad at Elon Musk. I don't know why. Look, I keep saying about Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a dork. He's a weirdo. End of story. He's also the richest man in the world. Yeah, he is. He's a dork and a weirdo and the richest man in the world. He's not an icon. He didn't do anything that you can replicate. Okay, he's not like, it's not like I'm going to do it the way no. His backstory is as unique to him as the creations that he's brought. Genius, yeah. And I love Twitter, and he bought Twitter, and everybody's freaking out about him buying Twitter. And this is what the Alyssa Milano thing is. She's like, he got Twitter, and Twitter's ruined now. People are literally like, Twitter, I can't take it anymore on here. I'm leaving. I'm on Twitter a lot, and I'm pretty centrist. I'm pretty in line with the centrists, right? I haven't noticed anything different. If I'm being honest, I have not noticed anything different. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, so Alyssa Milano, she tweeted that she's getting rid of her Tesla in protest of Elon Musk. She's getting rid of her Tesla and she's getting a Volkswagen EV instead. And she got hammered, of course, by everybody going, Volkswagen is owned by Nazis, which in her defense, I don't know. She didn't really go into great explanation as to why she got rid. Like if she got rid of her Tesla because Elon Musk now runs Twitter, and Elon Musk is going to welcome back people who had previously been banned on Twitter for being fascists or whatever, because that seems to be the complaint from a lot of people. He's letting the Nazis back on Twitter. I have not seen anything like that. But then again, I have pretty strict control over my timeline. I block and mute people all the time. And my timeline is pretty much in line with, I don't see any political stuff. So she got rid of, so if that's the reason, if she's getting rid of, she's protesting Elon Musk because she doesn't like fascism, and she went out and bought a Volkswagen EV, then it's an incredible own goal. It really is. It's like, you moron, Volkswagen was founded by the Nazis. Okay, so you're not supporting a fascist by supporting a company that was founded by fascists. That's kind of the lament against her. Although in her defense, I don't really know that she articulated that she was getting rid of her Tesla in protest of Elon Musk and fascism. She just said she doesn't like Elon Musk. So I don't know. But man, if she truly was, if this is a protest because I don't like fascists, and then her argument was that she went out and bought a Volkswagen and got rid of her Tesla because she doesn't support fascists. Oh my God, that's such an own goal. Like I said, she's a beautiful idiot. If that's what she meant, I don't know. But she does have a track history of other tweets that she has said, like some things that suggest that she was educated during lighting changes on the set of Who's the Boss, right? That's what it suggests, that she doesn't really have a formal education. Like she doesn't really know things. Maybe she was, anyway. I like her, though. I like Alyssa Milano. I have liked Alyssa Milano since I'm 13 years old. Since the first time I saw little Sam Maselli. Oh, was she cute? And then what'd she do? Then she did, in our 20s, we all wanted her to do nude scenes. Did she ever do nude scenes? Remember, we were all like all of us who grew up, well, we're all like her. She's the same age. We were all like, oh, is Alyssa Milano doing a nude? Did she do a nude scene in Poison Ivy? Anyway, my generation, we come from the 80s. If you're a man, you got something in there for Alyssa Milano. You know she's a beautiful idiot, but you got something in there for Alyssa Milano. Jay Leno is trending. Jay Leno is trending today because remember, like a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Jay Leno horribly disfigured. Jay Leno's fine. Jay Leno's doing comedy gigs. Jay Leno's out driving around. It's kind of disturbing, though. Yeah, let me see if we got some pictures here. He is burnt, man. Like his hand is all crusty. Like he's not even wearing bandages or anything. He's got no bandages. He's just out. Hey, how you doing? He's just out driving around in his car. TMZ is like, hey, Jay, how you feeling? Feeling pretty good. And then he turns to the camera and he's just like, like Game of Thrones. Who's that? The Hound? The Hound in Game of Thrones. He's like, yeah, everything's pretty good. And then it's like, nah, it's not that bad. But he definitely does. He's got like burns, like right. He's like this side of his face is all burned and his hand is all charred. But he's fine. He's fine. He's just out there rolling. Let me see if get a picture of him. You know what? You could probably just do it yourself. You're online. Just open up a Google window, Jay Leno burns, and you'll see. There'll be all kinds of pictures. But it's it's Jay Leno. He wasn't. I think it would be more disturbing if it was George Clooney. Like George Clooney all of a sudden had like, it's Jay Leno. Still got Full Metal chin though. The chin, you'd think maybe the fire would take a little off the chin. No, it's still there. Now it's just accentuated with red. Now it's just. But he's fine. Here's the thing. He's fine. He looks like he has a really bad sunburn on his like left side of his face, but his hand is gross. Jay Leno's hand, man. Wrap that thing, dude. Man, it needs the air. No, it's gross, Jay. Nobody can eat lunch around you with that charred paw that you're waving around. Gaslighting. Gaslighting. Ladies and gentlemen, gaslighting. Merriam-Webster has declared that gaslighting is the word of the year. Gaslighting. Merriam-Webster does this every year at this time. It's like, what's the word of the year? What's the word that it sums up this year? Gaslighting. I have to tell you, the mainstreaming of the art of gaslighting that has occurred in the last, I don't know, 5 years maybe. It's just been unbelievable. Gaslighting is a term for, what is it? It's like when you try to make somebody think they're going crazy. When an abuser tries to control their victim by twisting their sense of reality. Okay, so I'm going to gaslight you, right? So I'm going to say something. You're going to say something to me like, you're going to say, how was that cup of coffee I saw you drinking this morning? Right? You're saying that to me. You saw me drinking a cup of coffee. How was that cup of coffee you were drinking? Now, I gaslight you by going, I wasn't drinking coffee. And then you say, what do you mean? I just saw you. You were standing right there. You were drinking coffee. And then your response is, I wasn't drinking coffee. And then you bring somebody else in. Was I drinking coffee? And then that person goes, you weren't drinking coffee. And then both people are like looking at you going, you know your reality. You saw me drinking coffee. You know that. But now there's two people going, I wasn't drinking coffee. And so now you're thinking, wait a second, is there something wrong with me? Did I not see him drink? That's gaslighting. That's gaslighting. And it used to be a technique that was used by only the most manipulative demons among us. It used to be something that was very rare. And now everybody, my own 13-year-old kid engages in gaslighting regularly. What was that noise? And then I hear from the other room, what noise? Dude, that noise. I just heard a big drop on the floor. What was that noise? I didn't hear nothing. That conversation I literally had with my kid this weekend. He didn't hear nothing. Wait, there was a noise. There was a big loud noise. But he's like, meh. He obviously dropped something. He didn't want me to know. And so he just, he gaslit me into thinking that I didn't hear what I just heard. What? Anyway. Gaslighting comes from the movie Gaslight. It's like Angela Lansbury movie, right? Where a husband tries to drive his wife insane by gaslighting her, by making her. And the movie was called Gaslight. And I've never seen the movie, but does it have to do with like when you used gas lights and you'd have to turn them off at night? Is this what it was about? Like, did it start with like, she's like, oh, I thought I turned the gas light off. And then the husband was like, no, you didn't. And then she turns it off. And then when she leaves the room, he turns it back on. And then she comes in and she goes, I thought I turned the gas light off. It's like, no, you didn't. See, he's like, trying to make it crazy. I don't have any idea if that's a scene in the movie. Sounds like it might be. Gaslighting is Merriam-Webster's word of the year for 2022. Let's see. Gaslighting, behavior that's mind manipulating, grossly misleading, downright deceitful. That's how Merriam-Webster defines it. Lookups for the word on merriam-webster.com increased almost 2,000% in 2022. But something else happened. There wasn't a single event that drove significant spikes in curiosity, as it usually goes with the words chosen for the year. The gaslighting this year was pervasive. It's a word that has risen so quickly in the pop-ups. It's a word that has risen so quickly in the English language, and especially in the last 4 years, I said 5, but 4, that it actually came as a surprise to me and to many of us, said Peter Sokolowski, Merriam-Webster's editor-at-large, in an exclusive interview with the Associated Press. It was a word looked up frequently every single day of the year in 2022. There were deepfakes and dark web, there were deep states and fake news, and there was a whole lot of trolling Those were the other words that were finalists. So the other words that were finalists were deep fakes, dark web, deep states, and fake news, and trolling. Those were the other ones. More broadly, the dictionary defines the word thusly: gaslighting, the act or practice of grossly misleading someone, especially for one's own advantage. Gaslighting is a heinous tool frequently used by abusers in relationships and by politicians and other newsmakers. It can happen between romantic partners, within a broader family unit, and among friends. It can be a corporate tactic or a way to mislead the public. There's also medical gaslighting, when a healthcare professional dismisses a patient's symptoms or illnesses as all in your head. Woo! Medical gaslighting. Look at that. Never heard that one before. All right. Word of the year: gaslighting. So, guy, that was so perfect. That was like Saturday afternoon. I'm watching football in one room, and he's out in the other room. He's watching football on his laptop, and I hear this. What was that? Nothing. He doesn't respond. Mace! What? What was that loud bang? I ain't heard nothing. I mean, that's the gaslighting. That's what he's gaslighting. Like, and now I'm laying in bed going, did I not hear that? Wait, I definitely heard that. All right. Cyber Monday is trending. It's Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday. Oh, Cyber Monday. You buying anything? I'm not. I should, because deals, right? Deals. I should buy, but I don't want to. I don't want. And I should, because probably spend like $20-$30 more for the same damn thing if I buy it in 3 weeks. But whatever. Cyber Monday, go at it. Whole bunch of deals. You know what? Actually, look at this. My kid's in school, so I don't have to worry about this. I need to buy my kid a Justin Fields jersey. And that's not all he's getting. He's getting a bunch of stuff. But he wants the orange one, which I would not have gone with the Orange Bears jersey. I had an Orange Bears jersey in Urlacher. I don't know what happened to it. It's somewhere else. He likes the orange, the Justin Fields #1 Bears orange. I wanted him to get white. I love the Bears white jerseys, but he's 13. He's spaghetti sauce, and it'll just get ruined. So, all right. So that's probably what I'm going to do after the show. You know what? I'm going to look. Maybe it's best for me to buy a jersey for him. Although, no, yeah, I was going to say, nah, never mind. Anyway, happy Cyber Monday. Enjoy that. If you do. All right. So here's another one. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah. Oh, I wanted to mention this. We had a celebrity death. Oh my God. We lost Irene Cara. Ladies and gentlemen, Irene Cara died over the weekend. What, she died Friday? She might have died Friday. Now, Irene Cara, did she play Coco in Fame? Because we were talking about Fame. I love Fame. What a feeling! That's Irene Cara. Fame. What a feeling! But also, didn't she do Flashdance? What else? What did Irene Cara do? You know what? Irene Cara? She was like really big for like a couple of years, like massively big. What did she die of? Do we know what she died of? Let's see here. Irene Cara, 80s pop star behind Fame and Flashdance. Yeah, that's it. She dies at 63. My God. That's too young for little. Was she Coco? Was she Coco in Fame? Was she? You guys? We'll probably learn this in a second here since we're pulling up this. Here. What a feeling, but I do, yeah, I did too. All right, here you go. First one. Big hit. She was huge for like 2 years. And then I don't know. I still don't have an answer as to whether or not she was Coco in Fame. Schwartz, is that what you're talking about? She was Coco in Fame? Actress and singer Irene Cara, an Oscar and Grammy winner for best an Oscar and Grammy winner, best known for the theme songs of Fame and Flashdance in the early 80s, has died. Let's see. Please share your thoughts. She was a beautifully gifted soul of a singer-songwriter whose legacy will live on forever through her music. Cara died in her Florida home. The cause of death is unknown. 63, man. That is, I don't know what that is. All right, so we know this one. And then there's this one. I can't remember the last time I heard Fame. What is this? Fame the instrumental? Fame! Hold on. Is this an instrumental? What did I accidentally... Baby, hold it tight. All right. You can make it right. You can shoot me straight to the top. Give me love and take all I got to give. Baby, I'll be tough. Too much is not enough. No, I can ride your heart till it breaks. Oh, I got what it takes. I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly. I feel it coming. God, I don't think I've ever really listened to the lyrics before. Is this song about sex? that we just jumped into the opening lyric. It sounded like she was trying to convince him to have sex with her, and she was promising all of the things that is a candidate for lyrical litigation. If lyrical litigation was a bit that we still did, my partner Kelly and I used to do it from time to time, where we take a song that we all think we know, and we just break down the lyrics, and we'd be like, wait a second, what is he talking about? This would be a good one. I think Fame is about sex. I don't think it's about the struggle for celebrity. I don't believe it at all. Anyway, Irene Cara passed away over the weekend. Still don't know if she was Coco. Schwartz pops out. All right. Yes. She's not going to live forever. Why was that not? Some ballsy newspaper had to have really gone at it in the headline room, whether or not I'm going to live forever should be included somewhere in the obituary for Irene Cara. That's funny. All right. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're done with all the stuff that I've had prepared here. So what we will do now is we will jump into the cesspool that is Twitter, and we will see what Twitter's trends are. Because I didn't even dip a toe in Twitter yet today. I just can't with the nonsense. Here's part of the problem. Most of Twitter is Cyber Monday and World Cup again. Ugh. Like I thought, we know it's going to be bad for the next few weeks because of World Cup. So that means all the trends, all the things that are happening, all the things that are getting the most promotion that people are talking about, certainly on the socials, is going to be in some way, shape, or form World Cup related. So we accept that. I woke up today going, crap, World Cup is now second. World Cup is second to Cyber Monday crap. All right. Let's see. I already see something trending that's going to upset me. Nah, it's not going to upset me. It's going to make me all right. I'll be all right with it. Apple is trending. I don't know why Apple is trending number one. Let's see. What is Apple doing that's got them trending at number one? Oh, it's Cyber Monday. Not even going to waste my time. There's probably some Apple Cyber Monday deal. Cyber Monday is trending at number two. Giving Tuesday, that's tomorrow. That's where you're supposed to give to charities tomorrow. Diet Coke is trending. Why is Diet Coke trending? More importantly, why is Diet Coke still a thing? Who is still drinking Diet Coke when Coke Zero has been available for a couple of years now. They're not even close. They're not even. Diet Coke is fine. Well, you've been drinking Diet Coke for 25 years. I get it. I love my Diet Cokes. I get it. It's habitual. Okay, you're in a habit here. Switch to a Coke Zero. Seriously, 1 week on Coke Zero, you will never go back to Diet Coke. Sometimes when I have to run up to the convenience store and I need like a bottle of Coke Zero or Pepsi Zero, because they're interchangeable. They really are. In the Zero formula, Coke Zero and Pepsi Zero, I can't tell the difference. They taste like exactly the same thing. But I run up there and there was no Coke Zero and they only had Diet Coke. And you know what I did? Didn't buy it. I was like, wait a second. I want the Zero. I drank Diet Coke for decades. And now I see it in the store and I'm like, oh, please. It's like when you become like a famous rock star and you run into a girl dated in high school. It's like, oh, no, please. I'm with Coke Zero now. All right. I don't know why Diet Coke is trending. Let's see. Why is Diet Coke trending? Oh, is it because there's a contest between Diet Coke and Coke Zero? And people are saying, well, I'm not going any further. If that's what this is about, if it's like a choice between Diet Coke and Coke Zero and people are saying Diet Coke, well, that's a thing. People are wrong. Mauna Loa, we talked about that. Hawaii, talked about the volcano there on the big island in Hawaii, Mauna Loa. That's erupting. Don't worry, though. They're saying, don't worry about it. No problem. Metallica is trending. Why is Metallica trending? Oh, because they've announced a new tour or something. Metallica No Repeat Tour. Something like that. I don't know. Here we go. This is trending. I'm very excited about this. Okay, so I've been waiting. I've been talking about this, randomly over the past year since we've been doing these shows. Ladies and gentlemen, Cocaine Bear is trending. Cocaine Bear is trending. What is Cocaine Bear? Cocaine Bear is a movie that is coming out that I can't wait to see. It's Ray Liotta's last film, by the way, Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear is the true story of a bear in the woods of Kentucky who found a duffel bag filled with cocaine, did it all, and then went into town and killed a whole bunch of people. And it's a true story. The Cocaine Bear is a true story. Here, you think I'm kidding? This is the first you're hearing of Cocaine Bear? First of all, show some respect. It's Ray Liotta's final film, Cocaine Bear. It's not like doesn't it sound like something that would be on like Cinemax late at night, right? No, it's got a pedigree, dude. It's got people involved in this film. Like who's like famous people are like producing it and directing it. Here, let me see. I just pulled it up. Cocaine Bear. Give me a second. It's spinning. All right, so here's the cast. Cocaine Bear is an upcoming American thriller film directed and produced by Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks is awesome. And written by Jimmy Warden. It stars Kerry Russell, O'Shea Jackson Jr. O'Shea Jackson Jr. That's Ice Cube's kid, right? He was in the NWA movie, right? That's who that is, right? Okay, so Kerry Russell, who's just tremendous in The Americans. Love The Americans. Rebinging The Americans as we speak. Kerry Russell, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Matthew Rees, also from The Americans. Matthew Rees and Kerry Russell, the husband and wife from The Americans, are in Cocaine Bear together? Oh my God. Now I really want to see Cocaine Bear. Jesse Tyler Ferguson. Modern Family, bearded guy, not Cam and Marshall. I don't know. Let's go with Marshall. Jesse Tyler Ferguson is in Cocaine Bear. Let's see. Margot Martindale. Margot, the American treasure of Margot Martindale is in Cocaine Bear. And Ray Liotta. Talked about Ray Liotta. Cocaine Bear is scheduled to be released in the United States on February 24th. Premise: in a Kentucky forest. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to give you the one-line premise. You tell me you don't want to see this movie. In a Kentucky forest, An American black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting a duffel bag filled with cocaine. Come on, right? Oh, I don't know how that'll do. This movie, if done properly, it can either be like a really big, legit mainstream hit because there's like irony to it. Like, we went and saw Cocaine Bear, and guess what? It's really good. No, it's actually a really good movie because it sounds like a stupid movie, but you'll get that. And then it could like sort of suddenly turn into something where it's like a big box office hit. Or it could just kind of quietly do nothing at the box office. And then like 2 months from now, like right around New Year's Eve, or no, I guess that's not it because it's not out until February. But then like, a couple of months after, it will start, on Netflix or whatever. And then everybody will talk about Cocaine Bear. And then there'll be a Cocaine Bear 2. And then there'll be, you know what I mean? So whatever. I'm just very excited about Cocaine Bear. It's a true story. The film is inspired by the real story of a 175-pound American black bear that died after ingesting a duffel bag full of cocaine in December of 1985. The cocaine was dropped out of an airplane piloted by Andrew C. Thornton III, a former narcotics officer and convicted drug smuggler, because his plane was carrying too heavy a load. Thornton then jumped off the plane with a faulty parachute and died. The bear was found 3 months later in northern Georgia alongside 40 opened plastic containers of cocaine. The bear is currently on display at the Kentucky for Kentucky Fun Mall in Lexington, Kentucky. Well, that's a bear who understood fun. Cocaine Bear was coined by Coleman Larkin in 2015. In December of 2019, it was announced that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, Lord and Miller, these guys are the Lego Batman movies and Last Man on Earth. And anyway, in December of 2019, it was announced that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller were producing an untitled project inspired by the true story. The film was going to be co-directed by Tyler Gillette and Matt Olpin from a spec script written by Jimmy Warren. Then it was announced that Elizabeth Banks had decided to direct and would also be producing through her Brownstone Productions. All right, whatever. Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear is trending. We don't need to spend all that much time on Cocaine Bear because, trust me, we'll have the big Cocaine Bear premiere party. I'm sure we'll be on the red carpet because nobody has been supporting Cocaine Bear as long as this stupid little daily stream. Let's see, what else do we have? What else is trending? Marvin Harrison is trending. Cade is trending. Sports stuff. Hobby Lobby. Why is Hobby Lobby trending? Is that going to be political? It's probably going to be political, so forget about it. iPhones are trending. Not an iPhone guy. Tesla phone. Oh, this was interesting. Did Elon Musk tweet something over the weekend about how he was thinking about making a Tesla phone? That's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, Tesla phone is trending. Kimba Walker is trending. No idea why that's happening. Okay. All right, that's going to do it. Kellyanne Conway is trending, but dude, we're not going near that. Like, why would we? I'm not going to talk about that nonsense. All right, dudes and dudettes and all of that stuff. That's going to do it for today's show. We're gonna wrap it up here. Don Lemon is trending too. Ugh. Don Lemon. What do I need? Do I need to tell you anything? Yeah, no pillow talk tonight. We've talked about that. No pillow talk tonight. Join me and Dr. Robert Schwartz. 9 o'clock this evening for Mansplaining with Pugs, Moran, and Dr. Robert Schwartz. On 97.1 The Freak here in Dallas. Also, big freak announcement coming up at 5 o'clock. Be tuned in to 97.1 at 5 p.m. today during the Reiner Show. The Downbeat. They call it the Downbeat because Reiner's not an egomaniac, but it's the Mike Reiner Show. 5 o'clock today. Tune in. Apparently, there's some very big 97.1 The Freak announcement. I don't know what it is. I'm like, okay, so if the people are like, will you work there? Because like a bunch of people have been asking me, will you work there? You know what I am? Okay, so if the Freak 97.1 was like a Thanksgiving dinner for the family, right? I would be there. I would be at the Thanksgiving dinner, but I'm like your weird Aunt Rose's church friend that she brings. Like that's like that's my place at 97 the Free. I'm there. I'm at the dinner, right? I'm there. I'm in the room. I'm at the dinner, but I don't belong. I'm not family. I'm just your crazy Aunt Rose's church friend who comes to all the Thanksgivings. So I don't know. So I don't know what's happening at 5 o'clock. I have a theory. I have a theory based on I mean, it really is just a theory. It is based on absolutely zero information. It's just a theory based on my knowledge of radio non-competes and some of the personalities involved. I have a guess. I won't share it though. Because, like I said, I'm just the guy from church that your crazy Aunt Rose brought. You don't need me hitting the streets with some family secrets. It's not my place. I got a theory. I got a theory on what I think it is. Who is had to be unloved? That is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. Oh, Byron says Apple is trending for reasons other than Cyber Monday. Okay. I don't care. I don't have Apple stuff. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for more High Noon. Appreciate you. Bye.